Empty Room Podcast, Episode 3. We talk about the fallout from the Boston Red Sox trades. We talk about what a judge should be able to do and what he should not be able to do. And even Justin Bieber makes the list. Empty Room Podcast. Yes, the empty room is back on, and welcome. It's another week. It's another time. It's our third episode, and I'm here with Eric. Welcome, Eric.
Pleasure to be here as always.
For this opening third episode, we have some interesting headlines that I'm sure Eric's going to have lots to talk about.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to be... Let's get
started.
Let's get started.
But I think we do it out of order today. I think we start with the sports, because when you're talking about New England and you're talking about the Boston Red Sox, there was a Red Sox Fenway fire sale, to use Shaughnessy's line, and they got rid of
everybody.
A lot of people.
Everybody.
So Jon Lester and Johnny Gomes go to Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Lackey goes to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there...
Andrew Miller is now a Baltimore Oriole.
That's right. Miller goes to the Orioles.
Not only one rare trade within the division, but two. Although the second one is just worthless.
Well, I think it's not worthless. I think it's one GM saying to another GM, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. We'll give you Drew. You take Kelly. Both haven't done what they're supposed to do. And that's the Yankees taking
Stephen
Drew for, well, is it
some guy?
Some guy named Kelly. I know his last name's Kelly. I
thought that was one of the guys we got back from Oakland.
I think they both share the Kelly moniker.
Well, not for long, because one of them is going to be DFA'd, and it's going to be the guy we got from the Yankees.
So what do you think, Eric? The Fenway fire sale.
Well, we all knew it was coming. There was a slight glimmer of hope after going into the All-Star break. We started to get a little hot. We were winning some games. But as soon as we started losing divisional games within the AL East, it was over. It was just over.
Right. And I know a lot of people in Boston really like Jon Lester. It's a great story. He seemed like a decent guy. You know, he got through cancer, he battled through that, and he battled through many other trials and tribulations. He had a year where he was unbelievably bad.
I wouldn't say unbelievably bad. He was unbelievably bad in comparison to his other years. It was a subpar year. That's all.
But he hadn't had one before, so he had come back from trials and tribulations, and for him to be traded now, when he's pitching quite well.
Best he's ever pitched.
It's
according to some statistics.
It's kind of a sad situation, but there's always the hope that he might re-sign.
Yes, it is kind of a prevailing conspiracy theory, isn't it?
Well, I do know. I saw on Twitter that he favorited.
He favorited I want to say Bill Simmons tweet.
Might have been Bill, yeah.
About re-signing with the Sox after the season, which everyone's like, oh, he's coming back. He's after the season.
I think there's no secret that he likes Boston. He liked the situation he was in. He didn't want to leave. I think he's going to the Red Sox West in the Oakland A's. They have many Red Sox players or ex-players over there. I think the A's have no no real interest. Well, I take it back. I'm sure they have interest, but I don't think they have. I think they're looking in reality, saying, "Hey, we're probably not going to sign this guy once he."
Well, they're not going to be able to.
They're just
they're
not
not
enough
gonna afford
money.
it.
So they're using him for a couple months to make a run at the title, and then from there it's wide open. And why not Boston?
Oakland's starting rotation is just sick after.
Just like Detroit's. Did you hear about Detroit's deal?
Oh yeah, Detroit got Price. Everyone thought as soon they're not because Tampa was making a little bit of a run there, but apparently they've given up because they let Price go, who was by far their best pitcher.
He was filthy this year too.
He was just amazing. The two teams on a collision course for each other in the American League seems now to be Oakland and Detroit, and it's going to be nasty.
It's going to be fun baseball to watch. And normally when the Red Sox are out of it, I'm not really too interested. But with those two teams, knowing what we know and the players that are going to be involved, it's going to be some fun baseball to watch.
Yeah, I would agree.
So switching gears, I want to talk to you as a former football player.
Mm-hmm.
There's news that came out a couple days ago to a day ago in New England Patriots camp. Kembrell Tompkins and was it Brandon Browner?
Brandon Browner, yeah.
And double B's.
The double B's.
I guess they got in a dust-up. They got in a fight during practice. And when I brought that to your attention earlier, you said that happens every other day.
Oh, it happens all the time. Happens all the time. You have a bunch of guys who are around each other for hours upon hours upon hours every single day.
Physically popping each other, too, all the time.
Physically hitting each other all the time. It happens. I mean, I've gone through it when I played a long time ago. It just happens. I mean, tomorrow they'll be right as rain again, and everything will be fine.
Well, the article I read about it, which was on WEEI, talked about how Tompkins had been torching Browner, just really was unstoppable. Browner couldn't hold up, and finally Browner flipped his lid, and that started a big dust-up. And maybe that's what he needs to get started. I know he can't play until, I believe, the 5th week, right? He's
That's right. He's suspended for the first 4 games.
So maybe it's he needs an extra bit of a mental jolt to get his acting gear and play way he wants to play.
Some guys need that sort of thing. And if that's what he needs, then by all means, yell at anybody you want.
Well, I heard he got a dust up with the coach, too.
As long as it wasn't Bill, then I don't care.
Everyone's expendable except for Bill. Everyone's wearing the Star Trek red jersey except for
You can
Bill.
yell at anybody except for Bill.
Bill
and Tom
is Shatner. Actually, no, Bill would be Spock.
And Tom
Brady
would be
Shatner. So those two guys make it through. Everyone else is expendable.
Pretty much.
Good stuff. Bouncing back to the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe what Carl Yastrzemski said this week?
No, I don't. Fact of the matter is, Manny Ramirez is a better hitter than David Ortiz is. He is, or he was. I don't know if he is now.
Just to bring everyone up to speed, Yastrzemski, I'm not sure if it was an interview or in type or in print or what have you, made the statement that David Ortiz was the second best hitter in Red Sox history. Obviously, Ted Williams being the first. Many people thought Yastrzemski was the second, not Ortiz, but that's how Yaz felt. But you seem to think that Manny was a better hitter than Ortiz.
He is, or he was. I don't think there's any doubt about that. David Ortiz might have been the most clutch hitter in Red Sox history. I don't think many people would debate that, but as for his second best of all time in terms of Red Sox hitters, no, I don't agree with that.
Do you think anyone ever touches Ted?
No, I don't think that's. I don't think even if someone were to do similar stuff that Ted did, I don't think his legend can be touched.
There's a lot of people that felt his legend has been sort of soiled with the whole cryogenic freezing thing.
I don't understand why.
Well, just because the casual fan, not the diehards like you or I, the casual fan doesn't know Ted Williams is the greatest hitter of all time. They know him as the cryogenically frozen guy.
It's kind of it's funny.
Which stinks.
It does stink.
It's
I mean,
not cool.
The guy, you kind of shudder to think what his career would have been like if he hadn't gone to war.
Twice.
He had to go to war twice. Poor guy. For World War II and Korea, giving up,
I believe
3 years in World War II?
I believe it's 6 or 7 years total of his career.
Yeah, of his prime years.
In the prime of his career, where he was unable to participate and still is the last man to hit 400.
Yeah.
Still, holds records for hitting in Red Sox lore and Major League Baseball lore. So it is a tragedy that this whole cryogenic thing, in my opinion, even happened because, it is. For the casual fan, Ted Williams isn't the greatest hitter of all time. He's the guy who's frozen in a tube somewhere in Arizona.
I honestly forgot that it even happened.
Well, I think we all try to block that out because it's so ridiculous.
I don't understand.
The idea that, hey, we're going to cryogenically freeze you so that when there's a possible cure to your ailment, we can fix you up and bring you back. Dude, he was in his late 80s. He was looking terrible. He was feeling terrible. He didn't want to come. I don't get it, man. Do you get it?
I don't know. I guess it's the idea that by the time we actually fix whatever was wrong with him, people would be living into the 200s. And then
the body would still be going. I mean, he'd need a whole entire new body. I mean, we're talking about saving the mind, really. Because if you're in your mid-80s and your body's frail anyway due to strokes or what have you, you're not regenerating cellular structure to the situation where you get your old mid-20s body back.
Well, I mean, you can assume.
You can dream.
You can dream and assume that, by the time that all this is possible, it would be like, hey, not only can we fix what was wrong with you, but we can regenerate the body as a whole.
That would be pretty damn cool.
That would be pretty damn cool.
If Ted Williams was the first $1 million man. Remember that show, the $1 million?
$6 million
$6 million. Oh,
we have the technology.
We can do it. We can build them better. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. Poor Ted. But he was, there's many documentaries on him. There's many books on him. Well worth researching and learning because he was an interesting man and definitely a hero for most of us Red Sox guys.
Yeah.
Kevin Love's not coming to Boston.
Yeah, we already knew that.
I held out hope.
Why were you holding out hope?
Because I figured if the right package was presented to Minnesota, that they might bite. They'd bought it into it before. Although, no, I get it because Kevin McHale isn't there anymore. He's not running the show. You're not going to get a good deal. But I figured if we had it, there was a couple pieces and there was a ton of draft picks that we could have offered. And nothing has come of it. And now the rumor and the news story is that Kevin Love is focusing primarily, and his team are focusing primarily on Cleveland to go play with LeBron.
LeBron James.
Which brings us to our favorite bit. Who is better than LeBron
James?
Who is better than LeBron James? Who is a better player than LeBron James? And for this week's edition, I'm going to go with, knowing that LeBron is a big dunker and that's all he likes to do is attack the rim and dunk, attack the rim and dunk. I'm going to go with Dominique Wilkins. Dominique, the human highlight film.
The human highlight film.
That's real. Dominique Wilkins was
Neek Wilkins
was better than LeBron James because Dominique dunked harder. He dunked in traffic more. And when he caught fire, it was hard to stop him. He was lightning quick. And he was the franchise player for the Atlanta Hawks for a long, long time.
And did he win anything?
He came close in San Antonio.
The answer is no. He didn't win crap.
He came close in San Antonio, but that obviously his career had been over. The farthest he got, I believe, was the conference semifinals, where he ran into one Mr. Larry Joe Bird, and that was taken care of.
Didn't even make it to the finals.
I believe that's correct. Well, back then basketball was harder, Eric. Basketball now isn't nearly the basketball was in the mid '80s, and that's just a fact. So you kind of got to just understand that during Neek's time,
he wasn't even the 8th best player in the league.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
You had Larry, you had Magic. Those were the top two, and then you had a couple centers like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you had Patrick Ewing.
Michael
wasn't there yet.
Yes,
Michael
he was.
early 90s. We're talking mid-80s when Neek was a stud.
Neek was still a stud when
Neek ran into Michael in the early 90s when the whole slam dunk competition thing started going off. But in the late...
And he was still a stud.
But the late 80s, Neek was a very good player. And he was better than LeBron James.
No, he wasn't. I'm sorry, but he wasn't. As much as I would love to agree with you, maybe you could come up with better names.
And thus ends the frequent clip, the frequent idea, who's better than LeBron James? Now, I'd like to end on something that you don't like to follow, but I really love, and that's boxing.
Should I just take a nap?
No, don't take a nap. I want you to understand.
I don't want to understand.
No, you got it. You got to understand. There is a guy out there today in the boxing world. He's a middleweight named Gennady Golovkin, and he's from Kazakhstan. And he is the baddest dude on the planet. He is one part Mike Tyson. He is one part Lennox Lewis. He is one part just, I want to say, Cold War assassin. This guy is scary, man. It's scary. He's 30-0. He just won his 30th fight. He fought a guy named Daniel Geale, who had never been knocked out in his life, had never tasted the unconscious or the TKO or fallen. I think he hadn't hit I think the rumor was he hadn't hit the canvas ever. It took Gennady 3 rounds to do it. And the one he knocked him out on was awesome. It was a straight right hand right to the dome, and he had an eat a punch from Geale to do it. The punch that Geale connected on landed flush, Eric, and he walked through it. You need to check out Triple G Gennady Golovkin.
I'll pass.
No,
see, I'm going to pass because I don't give a crap about boxing.
Oh, come on. It's sweet science.
No,
it used to be. It's not anymore, but it used to be America's sport. It was the American dream. You could actually, with nothing, with a quarter in your pocket, that's it. One lousy quarter that wasn't even worth, whatever. Wasn't even worth what it should have been printed on. Whatever. You could have gone into a gym, slept in the corner, became a boxer, climbed the ladder, and become the baddest man on the planet. And right now, we have a guy out there. And we've all, there's a book. Sorry, Eric. There's a book that talks about how the sport of boxing died when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson in Tokyo. That was the last time we were interested as a populace. And most of the time, you need to be interested in the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division carried all of boxing. That's no longer the case. The Klitschko's have had a stranglehold on it, and the Klitschko's have been so good defensively, it's not really fun to watch. There's not a lot of action. You got 2 6'6" guys that know how to not get hit, so they never get hit. And then all they do is jab their guys to death.
At some point, you just got to kick them in the nuts. You get docked a point, but at least they know
you're serious. They know you're serious. So, but the middle divisions, that's where the action's happening. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is undefeated. He's a prick, but he's undefeated, and he's actually an electric gambler. And you have some other guys that are really making noise, but the guy I want everyone to go check out Go to YouTube and check out his greatest hits and check out the matches he's fought. Gennady Golovkin is the real deal, and he is absolutely the scariest man on the planet.
And I don't care.
Oh, come on. One quick story.
Oh, God.
I know. One quick story. My friend Ed and I met up at it wasn't Mohegan Sun. It was, what's the other one?
Foxwoods?
Foxwoods, thank you. We were at Foxwoods and we saw Golovkin fight Matt Macklin. And Macklin was a 20 knockout specialist. He was a tough kid from the UK. Had a very good record. And again, Golovkin came in there and dismissed him in 3 rounds. And he knocked him out with a body shot that looked like it broke Macklin in half. It was unbelievable. Macklin came out in the first round feeling like he was going to be interested. He was bobbing and weaving. He was trying to make connections. Gennady hit him with 3 jabs. 3. Just 3. And Macklin was backpedaling for the rest of the fight. Like, just didn't want anything to do with Gennady Golovkin. And the reason he got knocked out was at the end, he just decided, screw it, I'm going for broke. Went toe-to-toe, got pushed back, and then got murdered with a savage left hand to the body. So, he's fun to watch. He's scary to watch. Go check him out on YouTube, Gennady Golovkin. All right, it's time for the news now, Eric. Are you ready for this?
My favorite part of the show.
News.
Makes me want to bash my head into the wall.
Well,
Repeatedly.
the news seems to always be bad, so let's just try to get through it.
Grit your teeth. Hang on tight. And just get through this fucking thing.
That's right. Now, Eric, do you know what a zombie house is?
I know what a zombie is. I know what a house is. A zombie house? I can make a guess.
All right, give me your guess.
A house with zombies in it.
You would be wrong, sir.
Well, that's just stupid.
Well, in this case, you're wrong. A zombie house is a house that was owned by somebody who ends up going bankrupt. They can't afford their mortgage. They give up their house to the bank, and the bank does nothing with it. And in the end, the bank walks away from the own bankruptcy that has happened, and the house is just there. Nobody owns it. Nobody knows what to do with it. There's an epidemic in this country of zombie houses.
If they bite other houses, do they become zombie houses too?
I don't know for sure, but the problem is that you have these properties that are just decaying, and no one's taking care of them. And what's happening is that they're decreasing land value, decreasing property value, and there's no hope in sight because they're zombies. They aren't owned by anybody, and no one's living there. I mean, the almost sadly the best situation for these zombie houses is that they might be pretty luxurious homes for people that don't have homes. The homeless, you know what I mean?
I was actually driving. I was in North Kingstown. I don't know why I was in North Kingstown. I don't like to be in North Kingstown.
North Kingston's not so bad.
And I actually don't remember exactly where I was, which is unfortunate because I actually. Oh no, I was on Post Road.
Rhode Island.
Yes, Rhode Island. For all you people out there.
Be nice to the people.
Shut up. No, I was on Post Road, and I was, what was I doing? I was going to get food for work. And there were these decrepit, broken down looking houses. And there was one that was on top of a hill. And I couldn't help but really want that house. And fix it up and just live on top of a hill. I think that'd be cool.
It's a great dream, but there's probably like 17 homeless people living in there.
Probably. They would have to leave, though.
It's not a good thing when you have zombie houses everywhere.
Aim for the head.
Because property values are going to go down, and that's a problem. So there's an epidemic. And like Eric said, aim for the head.
And by the head, I mean the toilet. Because that would be the head.
Oh, yeah. Fair
It's a
point.
double meaning. You know what I'm saying?
Got me some double.
Double meanings.
Speaking of things that don't make any sense,
Of course.
the government is cracking down on bake sales for schools. We try
Are
not to
they special bake sales?
we try not to get super political, but the Obama administration with Michelle Obama put in this whole
Oh, this is about the obesity thing, isn't it?
nutrition act.
Oh,
I'm
that's
going to screw with everybody. And the thing is that it regulates and doesn't allow for bake sales. And now bake sales are a big way that high schools and middle schools get fundraising money to help out with whatever.
Yeah, you can fund music and sports and so on with a couple of bake sales here and there. And come on, Michelle, if they want to eat cupcakes every once in a while, I think they can handle it.
Yeah, it's another situation where the government's involved in things they just shouldn't be in. It doesn't matter. They don't need to tell you what to eat. They don't need to tell you how to live your life.
Everyone knows that it would be better to eat broccoli, but sometimes we want to eat cupcakes. I like cake. Cake is good. Might be why I'm almost 400 pounds.
Oh,
But
stop it. You're on the comeback trail.
I know who I am.
The
I
good
like to eat cake.
The good news, Eric, is that many states are fighting back. And what they're doing is they're
Aiming for the head.
aiming for the head, but they're actually putting in rules and laws into their own state legislature that allows and allots for them to do bake sales and tells the federal government to go pound sand. So
But the ingredients have to be gluten-free.
I don't think that even matters. I think, people like sweet stuff. They like the way it tastes, and hence they will spend their hard-earned money on such things, and that's where your fundraising comes in.
Cookies. People like cookies.
So the government can just stay out of our bake sales.
Cookies.
A top official in the North Korean army this week threatened a nuclear strike on the White House.
Don't they do that like every other day? Or every other week?
I'm not sure. It's just interesting because it used to be that it was a big deal when someone would make a comment like that in the world. When they said, hey, you know what, we're going to take out George H. Bush. We're going to attack and kill Ronald Reagan. We're going to go after, we're going to try to get after Bubba Clinton or whatever. It's a big deal, and people get upset and say, hey, don't you realize who you're messing with? But this story kind of went along the boards, and like you said, you're right. Don't they make that type of threat every other day?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is it the idea that the government types don't want us to know? Not that they don't want us to know, but they don't want us to worry about it, or is it an idea that
I think it's
Korea is ridiculous?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's this whole, we don't take North Korea that seriously for whatever reason because of, we've seen them test their missiles, and it's like watching fireworks go up in the air, and
it's like they shot off an M80, and that's it. It's like, look how far it went, 10 feet. That's nice.
And I think the other part is, hey, we're not going to recognize that comment because it's just, why give them credibility to what they're doing? But it was interesting to me because usually the media, when threats are made, usually the media makes a pretty big deal out of it. This one, it was kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever, dude.
So I found that interesting.
You've declared war on 2 actors. We're not going to be taking you seriously anymore.
Which actors got declared war on?
It was Seth Rogen and James Franco. James Franco, I'm not really all that upset about. You can declare war on him. Go right ahead.
He's kind of a weird dude.
He is a weird dude. No, it was they did a movie, kind of like a.
They got pissed off about Pineapple Express?
No, they did a. It was a movie where they were a couple of undercover journalists. They weren't actually journalists. That's what they were playing, but they were actually. I think, if I remember correctly, I only saw like one trailer for it, and it was weeks ago. That they were actually there to assassinate the leader.
Oh yeah, Un.
And It's a comedy. I mean, like hijinks ensue and so on and so on.
Right.
And North Korea got really bent out of shape about it and literally declared war on Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Wow. That's pretty weird. Man.
Your country is starving. Let's declare war on actors.
Yeah, feed your people, sir, and don't worry about the movies that get made. And I don't know. I remember his dad used to love movies. That was his big thing. He wanted to make movies.
This one, it was the idea that they were, you dare say this about our leader. Yeah, all right.
So again, it might have been just, whatever, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Move on. You knew already that fist bumps were safer for you than handshakes?
Well, it's the idea that you're not making that much contact.
It's all about germs, right?
Yes, it's all about germs. It's a fist bump. You bump fists, as the name would suggest, and it's over. Your hand's in contact with another hand for about less than a second. But with a handshake, you're really in there, and it's like,
yeah. But the handshake is how most people in the United States greet each other. I mean, it's a common.
I wave. Hi.
That's not creepy. If I met you for the first time, and you were just like, "Hi," I would think that you were Sherlock's enemy. I would think that you were Moriarty, and you were just about to do some very horrible, horrible things. No, you shake a man's hand, sir, and that's what you do.
You shake a man's hand.
You shake it hard, you shake it firm, and that's how
We're still talking about shaking hands.
We are. That's what you do. You look somebody in the eye.
You shake it hard, and you shake it fast. And
no, I didn't say anything about fast. You said fast.
And you buy him dinner.
No, when you meet somebody, you shake hands, you look them in the eye, it's got to be a firm handshake. That's what you're taught. But apparently you're spreading germs that way. I find it hard to believe, however, I really do. If you're in a corporate situation and you're about to make a deal worth millions of dollars, you're going to go fist bump. I just don't think it's going to work.
No. It's just the idea that the fist bump spreads less germs than a handshake. It's not going to ever replace the handshake completely. I fist bump occasionally.
Well, the sports teams have been doing it for a long time now.
Of course, yeah.
And we, I think if you're a sports team, probably spreading germs is a little bit in your best interest not to do it, because if someone gets sick, then another person gets sick, then another person gets sick, and that's how you got to go. So maybe the fist bump makes a lot more sense there, but...
Or a nice pat on the ass.
No, you can't do that anymore, and you know that.
Of course you can. Happens all the time. I've seen it.
Anywho, we're talking fist bumps here. We're talking handshakes. And like I said, if you're going to make a deal, I'm pretty sure it's, "Hi, I'm so-and-so." Shake hands, look in the eye.
We could go with you got to seal the deal, you got to pat him on the fanny.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that seems a little strange to me. If the deal goes bad and you're trying to chase it around to slap.
Come here, we got to close this. Come here. Why are you running?
So I don't know. I don't know if that's appropriate. Oh, man. Lastly, and this is the most outrageous story I could find. There is a judge. I think it's in Tennessee, but I might be wrong. I'd have to go back, and maybe we can do an update next episode. But there's a judge who who apparently, during a case for alimony, really gave the father of this situation a really, really high child support payment. Now, that's not abnormal, except that at the time, the judge was having relations with the man's ex-wife, who was asking for the alimony and for the child support.
He was banging the guy's wife.
That's what he was doing. He was having relations, Eric.
He was banging the wife. Don't beat around the bush.
He was having relations with the guy's wife, who was bringing the suit against him.
Come on now. Let's not beat around the bush. He was beating around her bush.
Oh, Eric, come on. Come on.
I just wanted to put that in there. No, he was having.
So if you're that guy, right?
If you're banging his wife, I just want to
your wife is now your ex-wife, and your ex-wife is suing you or bringing you to court just to make sure that you get her alimony and her child support, and you go before the judge, and the judge says, you know what, you have 2 kids, it's going to cost you $7,000 per kid.
Is that what it was? $7,000 per kid?
I don't know that for a fact. I'm making this up as an example. So you freak out. You go, man, I don't have $7,000 per kid. That's ridiculous. I can't do that. Well, that's what it's going to be. And then you find out that your ex-wife is sleeping with the judge, and that's where he got that fabulous figure that he said to you. What do? You sue him, right?
You sue him. You sue the crap out of him. He loses his job. He loses his place on the bench. I don't know. He could even.
Well, guess what? He did try to do that, and he lost.
How did he lose?
He lost. They said you cannot sue a judge for anything any ruling that comes down against you.
Yeah. Something's got to be done about that.
I think that's one that's going to climb up the ladder.
Oh, it's going to be. I think that judge is going to be, because if he was relying on that, a judge can't be sued for anything he's any ruling he's put down. I think that judge is going to be in for a rude awakening.
Well, that judge has done some very inappropriate things, like he
banging the dude's wife. I think that was pretty.
That's pretty inappropriate. But he's been caught doing selfies of himself with his shirt off. Just stuff that's not very judge-like behavior.
I'm not going to fault a man for thinking his body's beautiful, but come on.
So you were in Anthony Weiner's side on that back in the day when he was taking selfies of his little Anthony and sending it to people?
See, that's the problem. He was sending it to people. He was sending it to people he shouldn't have been sending it to.
That's right.
So no, I was not on his side during that. But no, come on. Banging the dude's wife, really?
And then the only time I've ever heard of that situation before was in a movie.
I know, it was like fiction. It doesn't happen. Apparently it does.
The movie was Brain Donors, which was a comedy.
And even then, that was a little different. Where it was the lawyer who was representing the guy who was sleeping with the ex-wife and not the judge.
It was still close enough.
It was close, but it's close enough. It's still a similar situation. It's like, wow.
I gave you homework about Golovkin. Go see, him on YouTube. But
I'm not going to do that.
Stop it. Go do your homework.
I'm not doing my homework.
But you need to go.
I don't give a crap about this guy.
You need to go and see the movie Brain Donors. What year was it made? It was in the...
I've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times.
I'm not making this podcast just for you, Eric.
Oh,
I'm talking about the people that listen to the damn podcast.
I thought you were actually talking to me.
No, you have to go see the movie Brain Donors. I believe it's an early 90s film.
Yeah, it's in the 90s somewhere.
And it is...
John Turturro, Bob Nelson, Mel Smith, who unfortunately is no longer with us.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant movie.
It's incredibly brilliant. It's in the same vein as the Marx Brothers, so you can't go wrong with that.
Eric, we got a Pope Watch. Eric.
He's still a good guy.
He is a
good guy.
He is a good guy.
He is a good guy.
But he's actually come out and given...
He's come out?
No. The church doesn't accept that. No, he's actually...
This changes everything.
No, Eric, calm down. Cool your jets, buddy. He has tweeted, talked about, proposed a couple of tips to help you live a better life.
Okay, then.
Not commandments.
No?
No, not commandments. Not
just suggestions?
Not decrees.
Just suggestions?
Just suggestions that might help out the situation.
Were we just supposed to read the Bible for that stuff?
Well, yes, of course, you should know your Bible, and you
course.
should know, the things that are in there that are important. However, he's got some ideas. Do you want to hear them?
Sure.
Okay, number one, and in no particular order, turn off the TV during dinner.
But I like the TV.
Right, but the Pope is worried about you and your interaction with your family members and also your weight. Remember that when you actually watch TV and eat at the same time, you end up eating more than you would normally do.
I don't know if I agree with that.
It's true. It's a fact.
No, I don't know if I agree
When you're
with that.
watching something and you're engaged, you just keep plowing away. Keep shoveling it in.
No, I don't agree with that. I think if you're engrossed in something, I think you eat less. I think you're so engrossed in something, you stop eating. So it actually slows down your eating, so you actually get fuller.
I think you're wrong.
I think I'm right.
I think you're wrong.
I don't care what you think.
I don't care what you think either. The point is, you should be interacting with your family. That's what you
What if I don't like my family?
I don't think you believe that.
Well, there are days.
Number 2.
Dose.
Treat Sundays as a holiday.
Well,
A family holiday.
pretty sure we already do that. It's called football season.
Very true. However, I think in this case, he's talking about getting together with your family and going on trips, going hiking, going beaching.
Hiking?
Yeah, going to the beaches.
The beaches?
The beaches, you know.
Beaches.
Yeah, and doing the things that you do.
All right.
So, and church should be on there too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you gotta.
Number 3, Eric.
Number 3.
Avoid criticizing others.
Are there 10 of these?
No. Only
it's not
4.
10.
Only 4 that I've found. I mean, there's probably more. I may have missed a couple, but avoid criticizing others is number 4. 3.
3.
3.
You lost count.
3. I did.
Avoid criticizing others. Well, there's certainly a place for that.
I mean, I criticize you all the time.
Of course, and you have no reason to because I am so much better than you.
Oh,
I think
right in the heart, Eric. You got me right in the heart there. Ugh.
I think we should be careful of over criticizing people. I don't think that's over criticizing is a danger that we should avoid. But criticizing where it's due is helpful.
Yeah, and I think that's something in society that we're missing. We've gotten to the point now where we're so politically correct, we don't criticize anybody. I'd like to point out the South Park episode where they talked about, look, South Park's very important. Don't give me that face, you big weirdo.
You didn't have to mention it. No one can see us.
That's all right, but I want to tell you that the South Park episode where they talk about tolerance.
And Cartman's being a douchebag.
Oh, he's always being a douchebag. But being tolerant and not criticizing people doesn't mean you have to accept and like what's going on. It's okay to not like what's going on and say, hey, you know what, I disagree with that. You have your opinion. You're supposed to be able to do that. So I'm sort of disagreeing with the Pope here. Sometimes you need to stand up to things that aren't right.
How dare you disagree with the Pope? Well, he's a good guy. He is a good guy.
And I'm not trying to cause waves here. I'm just saying, avoid criticizing others.
I'm sure you're going to be causing a lot of waves.
No. I just, the idea, just don't avoid criticizing others. I think there's more to it than that. There's make sure you're standing up against evil and standing up for what needs to be done. Okay, the last one, Eric, the 4th one.
Looking forward to it.
In defiance of Paul McCartney,
But everyone should be defiant of Paul McCartney.
It's live and let live.
You disagree with this?
I don't.
All right, then.
But Paul might.
No, he wouldn't.
He used to say, live and let live.
Stop singing right now. Don't do that.
You know you did.
Stop it.
You did. No, you did. But if there ever...
I will leave.
Oh. Well, Paul did write a song called Live and Let Die, and Pope disagrees. Turn it around. Turn that frown upside down. Okay, we've come to the last segment. This is the entertainment segment. Eric, are you ready for some fun about entertainment?
Has been a whole bunch of fun in the entertainment industry this week.
Well, I got some homework for you specifically, Eric. For you specifically. I know, crap. Specifically for you. You got to see the trailer for Mad Max, The Fury Road.
Mel Gibson in it?
No, he's not.
Then I don't care.
No, but Bane is, and it's awesome.
Bane! Here to destroy Gotham, Bane!
In fact, Bane gets captured right off the bat and gets tied up for a lot of the movie, apparently, in the trailer.
But it's Bane!
Yeah, I know, and it was a great trailer. I'm so excited for that movie to come out. I might actually go to the theater. I haven't done it in a long while. Go see Fury Road trailer, Mad Max.
I'll look into it.
It's not beyond Thunderdome.
No, it's not beyond Plunderdome.
Who owns?
Oh, who owns Bartertown? Master Blaster owns Bartertown.
That's right. Master Blaster is not in it. So, moving on, and make sure you do your homework assignments this week. Now, in Times Square, there are many superheroes hanging out and getting photos with other people.
Selfies.
SpiderMan, Times Square SpiderMan, ended up punching a cop.
Did he deserve it?
Well, here's the thing. This particular SpiderMan had his photo taken with a young woman, and she tipped him $1. He did not like how low the tip was.
It's a picture. How much do you expect to get?
I don't know. But he started making a scene. He started yelling at the woman. A cop intervened. Spider-Man slugged the cop.
All right. I can only assume that it was actually Andrew Garfield in Times Square. And that's funny because Andrew Garfield is the one playing Spider-Man recently. But you're not laughing because you're an idiot.
Is he a prick?
No, he's actually a really good guy. I was just making a joke.
Oh, fair enough. You don't punch a cop.
You don't punch a cop. And you don't be a bitch about getting $1 for taking a picture with somebody. Was he charging? Or was he just walking around hoping someone would take a picture?
I really don't know that part. However, I don't think you ever punch a cop, really. I don't think that really comes into play.
No.
So
No, you don't.
I'm surprised, and
Now Peter Parker's in jail.
And there's no way that his girlfriend's going to go out with him now.
Which one? The dead one? Probably not, because she's dead.
The dead one's probably not going to make an appearance, Eric.
Then no. Probably not.
Who's dead?
Gwen Stacy.
Oh, but Mary Jane's still around.
No, Mary Jane's still around. No, is she still around? She's still alive, but she's still around. I don't know. They rewrote a bunch of Spider-Man's story.
Oh.
They kind of rebooted him, which was stupid. They kind of did away with and it wasn't even like they rebooted him like, oh, we're just going to start over. No, he lost, I think it was something stupid like he lost his memory.
Oh, no.
And it was like, oh, now it's all gone. And it's like, or someone changed time or some crap like that. It wasn't even a real reboot. It was just, oh, we're just going to say none of it happened. Oh, son of a bitch.
Well, see, that goes along with some other things. Like, they made Thor a woman, which, trust me,
See, I'm okay with that because the real, in quotation marks, Thor isn't gone. He just became unworthy to be Thor. So the moniker of Thor and Thor's hammer went to a woman.
I didn't know that aspect of it. That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, he's the actual, 6.5 foot tall, blonde hair, beard Thor. That he's still around. He's
That's my Thor.
Yeah, he's still around. But there's been a lot of changes. Captain America's black, which is fine. And even this one I really have no problem with. I do have a problem with it because Steve Rogers is no longer Captain America, which I am kind of bummed about.
Why is Steve Rogers?
I don't know. I haven't been able to get an answer on that.
Is Steve finally getting a girlfriend?
No.
A boyfriend?
I actually...
Dog friend?
Man. Stop it. You suck. You leave Steve alone. No, honestly, I haven't read up as much as I should have. All I know is that the mantle of Captain America is going to. I can't remember his name. In any
Somebody
case,
who ain't Steve Rogers.
no, he's the guy. He's the guy who is formerly known as the Falcon.
Prince?
No, not Prince. He's too short. The guy's like 4'2".
He does. He shops at Boys.
He shops at Nordstrom's Boy Department.
That's right, Boys Department.
Because we've all seen that Kevin Smith DVD.
He's a hell of a basketball player, though.
Apparently, he makes pancakes. Because we've all seen the Chappelle Show.
Wow, look at you knocking him out of the park. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, the guy, Sam something, I think. The Falcon is the new Captain America, which is fine.
That's great.
But yes, Thor is a woman. How did we get on this topic?
Basically, they rewrote most of Spider-Man's backstory.
Yeah, and we got on this from Superman slugging a cop. Fantastic.
It was Spider-Man,
Yeah.
not Superman. But
Whatever.
Details.
Details. Let's move on.
Do you care that Beyonce and Jay-Z are splitting up?
Fuck no. I don't care.
Me neither. But it's kind of important because a lot of people do.
No, it's not important. It's not important just because people care.
All right, fair enough. Well, just so you know, they're not going to split up until the tour ends.
Then let's end the tour now.
Sponsors might not like that. They're
I
looking to
don't
make
care.
All right. Moving on. Sharknado 2 is out.
I didn't see the first one. I've heard it's great.
There's a great YouTube clip of Tara Reid saying she believes that Sharknado isn't possible. And I agree with her. It isn't possible.
I've seen people say that it actually is possible.
It's a popsicle.
It's a popsicle. Just grab a shark by the tail, stick it in the freezer. About an hour, you got a popsicle.
Good stuff.
Don't mock me, bitch.
I'm not. When I'm wrong, I'm saying I'm wrong.
No, didn't she say that it's possible, but it's very rare?
I don't know.
Somebody did.
But she recently
Somebody said it.
I saw the clip today, and then recently she said that, she does not believe that the Sharknado phenomenon physically could happen. And I agree with her.
To Tara, all I have to say is, no shit. Of course it can't happen. You just can't. It just can't.
Don't take this too hard. She's got a lot of work to do.
She's a lot of work to do.
She's working
All
hard.
she has to do is stand there.
No. Let's not go down this road. She's working hard just like the rest of us.
No, she's not. All she has to do is stand there. Maybe wiggle her ass back and forth every once in a while.
Now we're a little beyond the
No,
pale.
she's
Relax.
not an actress. She sucks.
Relax. I'll get you back on track. Here we go. You ready? You'll like this last story. Orlando Bloom went after Justin Bieber at a club in Spain. He threw a punch. It didn't connect, unfortunately, but he went
No,
after...
I've heard both. I've heard that it didn't connect. I've also heard that it did.
Well, I watched a little bit of the video, and it didn't look like he connected. But he did go
He should try again.
He did go after him. He did go after the little guy.
For good reason. The guy's a little prick.
He is an exceptional prick. It
It had to do with Orlando's ex-wife. Justin's possible fling with her, and then saying something to Orlando about it, to the effect of she was good.
Oh goodness!
Now I'm not really a huge Orlando Bloom fan. I think he's kind of a pretty boy. He hasn't really done much good.
Yeah, but
other than Lord of the Rings stuff.
But think of it this way, Eric.
No. All I'm saying is I'm not a huge fan, but even I wouldn't say that.
Right. I mean, the kid is not a good person.
No, the guy needs to get. And you're right. The kid needs to get his ass kicked in the worst possible way.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He's been given everything he's wanted since teenage years.
Yeah.
Since that YouTube
Guy's
sensation
a piece of shit.
thing. And if you listen, another homework assignment, if you listen to the wonderful podcast Hollywood Babylon, they really can't stand Justin Bieber, and they have some great gags on.
I heard a great story. I like to listen to panels.
Yep.
From comic conventions, and one of my favorites is the Conversations for a Cause from Nerd HQ that takes place during San Diego Comic-Con International. And who was it? Who was telling the story? It was Alan Tudyk telling the story.
He was a leaf on the wind.
He's a leaf on the wind. Watch how he gets stabbed in the chest with a giant spear.
Spoilers.
It was almost 10 years ago.
20 years ago?
No, 10 years ago. Anyway, he's telling a story about how he and Nathan Fillion, it was back when either Halo 2 or Halo 3 came out. They were in this kind of VIP section. They were playing Halo. And Justin Bieber came in with his, entourage. And, he's actually across the room. Like, I don't know if he's across the room, but he's pretty far away from them. On his own, playing on his own computer or his own system over there. Because they had this whole place roped off just, for
VIP guys.
Yeah, Yeah. And they were the only people in there. It was Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion and Bieber's guys. And someone from Bieber's camp comes over and says, yeah, you have to leave. To Nathan Fillion. Wow. And says, yeah, Justin Bieber's here and he needs the whole room. He needs the whole room to himself. And Nathan, being someone I love very, very much, turns and looks at this person and says, yeah, that's not happening. And just ignores them for the rest of the time. He just goes back to playing Halo. I didn't think I could love that man anymore.
Right.
But, that's awesome.
Well, Nathan's a pretty big dude. He's not small. And Justin Bieber's very small. And I don't
Who was it that knocked the shit out of him?
Well, I don't think...
Someone did it. No, someone did it at a restaurant. Someone did it at McDonald's, I think.
Well, I mean, I don't know that story.
It was another actor. I read about this. It was months ago.
Yeah.
It was another actor. I want to say it was Bieber. Bieber comes in. I think he was either drunk or just being really shitty. And the other guy was already in line. And
I love fights at McDonald's.
Yeah, and
it's a good time right there.
If I'm not mistaken, this story has been corroborated by other people who were there. The guy turns around and just smacks him right across the face.
Oh, he slapped him, right?
He slapped him.
Yeah, I think I heard about this story too. I think they talked about it on Babylon. I can't remember the actor's name. But
whoever it was is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, pedestal time, Again, I don't mean to just keep talking about the Babylon guys, but they talk about how awful this kid has been to a lot of people, and it's kind of like a bit that they do every week. And he's not a nice guy, and they keep talking about how hopefully this will be the time that he gets deported. What do you got to do to get this kid back into Canada and leave?
What was that bet? That
United States alone?
Was it U.S. and Canada during the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, and the Canadians
loser keeps Bieber,
and the Canadians said, "No way, man! You guys."
No, it's like they made it like it was a bet between somebody and somebody else.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the gold in hockey between the U.S. Either the U.S.
the Canadians
or the Canadian team.
Yeah.
It was their match. It was like their semifinal match.
I thought it was the semis, but it might.
Yeah, it was their semifinal match. Winner, loser keeps Bieber,
and of course we lost.
And of course we lost.
And that's just heartbreaking. But he's a spoiled brat, and his entourage is a bunch of spoiled brats, and it's really just a tragedy that this kid gets to run rampant on everything. And,
does he have?
And it's so bad, Eric.
Does he have parents?
Yeah, but they're sort of in on the gag, I think. It's so bad, Eric, that we had to get Legolas to go after him.
No.
That's how bad it is. We had to bring back Legolas to go get him. And, it's too bad that he missed.
It was even better. It was Blake Griffin from the Clippers. Smacked the shit out of Justin Bieber. That's awesome.
So it was an NBA player, a 6'10",
power forward, jacked NBA player, smacked the shit out of that kid.
And Blake Griffin's he's a dunker in his own right. He's a good ball player. So he smacked Bieber. I remember reading about that and thinking, man, Blake's
fucking awesome.
Blake's pretty damn cool. So yeah, the Biebs is a nightmare, and Legolas went after him and didn't get it done. Maybe next time.
He's got to try again.
Maybe next time.
Bring in Gimli.
Oh, there you go. Gimli might wreck some shop. So that is the end of the Empty Room podcast for this week. more to come, I'm sure. As long as Eric keeps being interested. But seriously, it's the end of the Empty Room podcast for this week, and thank you for listening, and be well, and we'll see you all next week.
Justin Bieber sucks.
Empty Room Podcast is a copyright of 2014. Music by High Congress.